Let's talk about the education crisis in the United States. Today there was an article in the Foreign Affairs magazine indicating that the education crisis in this country poses a national security threat, and I could not agree more. But rather than talk about the threat, let's talk about where that crisis comes from. At some point in the past, we stopped teaching kids how to problem solve, stopped encouraging them to make mistakes, stopped allowing them to make their own mistakes, and started spoon-feeding them every bit of information we can, with the purpose that they can pass some standardized test at the end of the year, because schools depend on funding from the state, and that funding is dependent on the standardized test scores at the end of the year. So what effect has that had on education overall? We talk about the fact that we don't spend enough money on our students, but is that true? I think one of the problems we face is that we use districts that consolidate all of the leadership at the district level with the idea that we're saving money because we are reaching economies of scale. But in reality, I think we're reaching diseconomies of scale. We're centralizing a lot of the planning. In my district, for my own children, for example, they centralize the design and writing of end-of-unit exams. Now, I get that. I understand that they want to standardize things and make sure that every student is tested the same way, to the same standard, with the same information. But they ignore the fact that they have leadership in the schools themselves managing the instructors, and they have professional teachers that they're simply not trusting their expertise, and they're not trusting their professionalism to write their own exams in the right way, to test on the right features, to meet the state level curriculum. Students lose depth within each of the subjects they study. They lose breadth in that they don't get to see how connections are made across curriculums. And worse, we waste a lot of money on a lot of resources at the district level that probably shouldn't be wasted at all. I'm going to throw out some numbers, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, and I'm probably missing a few things here. So just understand that this is a quick and dirty calculation and that it's absolutely not exact. But everybody should be asking these questions to all of their districts and holding them to account. In my son's district, they spend about $11,200 per student per year. So assume there are about 19 students per class. That means in a 4-room school, we could have 4 teachers, 4 parapros, 1 nurse, 1 counselor, 1 IT person, 2 bus drivers, 1 custodian, and a brand new computer for every kid every year. And that would still leave a surplus of $185,000 for those 4 classrooms. That means we could buy electricity, internet, books, supplies, buses, mortgage payments, maintenance, etc. for that extra money. If we combined 8 of those together, that's a school, 32 rooms with a principal. I won't do a part 2, but I'll leave you with this question. Where's the money going? I think we're top heavy at our districts and we're wasting the money. Something to think about. Always be improving.